Hi Aries. I was just telling Pisces that I was procrastinating doing their reading because I knew there were a few things in there we needed to talk about that I also needed to hear. And maybe I just wasn't ready. And that brings me to your reading, which, same thing. Stuff I definitely need to hear. And yet, I don't want to. So, Aries, if you fly off the handle, if you're rebellious for no reason, if you stress and stress and stress about work, these retrogrades will turn on you. Interestingly, the first card out in the Pisces reading is the same card, different deck. It's all about money and work, except for you, it's about accepting the slowdown and not lashing out at people. It's also about love and reevaluating how it is that you deal with the people you love. Your siblings, your friends, your lovers. Is it all about winning, and where does that leave you when it's all said and done? Alone and regretful, perhaps. Taurus season wants to teach you a bit of compassion. Mars will move into your 12th house soon. And then you will learn not only compassion, but perhaps it will hit you with a bit of sadness and suffering, not because anything happens, but because Mars in Pisces is bogged down, slow, stuck in the muck. And we know how you hate that. So you may experience, in the midst of learning this compassion, which is a huge opportunity, I want you to see even the sadness as an opportunity, even the melancholy that overcomes you. There is something great that can come of it if you can be open to seeing it. Winning at any cost, whether in a relationship or work situation, is highlighted as something that has to stop. I don't know how you feel about that, actually. I'm afraid saying it. 5 of Pentacles and the Magician. Oh, this proves it. If it's all about the money, don't forget that money can also make you super miserable. And if it's all about being capable and having all the right tools, then let's not forget that's not enough. No, I think what the Scorpio full moon, coming up in just a day, wants to teach you is how to live in this Sagittarius energy, to move forward into perhaps uncharted territory for you, where you balance your heart and your mind in a really beautiful way. It's a real departure. You have a tendency to be all heart, and sometimes, as counterintuitive as this is going to sound, sometimes being all heart makes you a bit ruthless, a bit heartless. Okay, that's just going to drive me crazy. I'm not sure why this is happening. So what is this? It's the ability to balance the heart enough to think of others. May and these retrogrades want to show you all the different places where you have not thought of others and you should have. Can be a bit unpleasant. But it will shine a light for you on several areas. How does one sustain the Ten of Pentacles? How does one maintain a loving and open relationship with anyone? Where do we need to learn to bite our tongue? Where do we learn to not fight every battle? What are the lessons behind the sadness? What is Mars and Pisces doing? It's communicating. It's communicating with your subconscious. It's letting your planet into the part of your mind that you don't let it wander around in. And what does it show you? And what does this Scorpio full moon show you? One, that you're not always right. Two, that generally when you are wrong, you react terribly to it. Three, you don't learn anything that way. Four, you alienate people. Five, there is a better way. Now you can go back and forth all you like. You can not apologize to people if you like. You can continue to be combative and aggressive if you like. But then you must accept that the world will be combative and aggressive with you as well. So how do you sit authentically in your power without pulling this power play, without pushing ahead, especially financially, at any cost, especially at any human cost? It's a good question. Let's look at the cards and see if we can answer it. Love you. Hi Aries, welcome to the second part of your reading. I know. How many different ways can you be told? How many different times can you be told not to push? I think it's really important when you're stressed about money or when you're stressed about work that you remember that the feedback between you and the universe creates from your dominant emotion. This can really trip Aries up sometimes because your emotions are, like a flame, and it rises and it gets to a point where it doesn't even matter if it's true, if it's valid. It doesn't matter. The legitimacy of it stops being a concern, and it becomes only about the feeling. Now, if we didn't live in a feedback loop with the universe and the universe wasn't checking in with us all the time to see what our dominant emotion is and then reflecting it back to us, they would be fine. But because that is the case, your indulgence or your inability, let's say, to not have the feeling, it's quite a double negative, leaves you at the mercy of your weakest moments. But you don't have to be. I think the fun thing for you about tools like tarot, like astrology, is that you can temper that flame because you'll know it's coming, right? So when you start to feel that need to indulge in the emotion, to feel the feeling, to let the stress get on top of you, you can think back on it, think back on this reading, and acknowledge that no, indeed, you don't have to do that. And you can instead use this as an opportunity to grow, to expand your heart space, and ironically enough, by tempering and controlling your feelings, to expand the mechanism through which you feel. That muscle is being, in fact, worked in a very positive way by not allowing yourself to sink into the depths of despair, because it will be okay. And tonight, especially with this moon, you're realizing more and more that it will be okay. But throughout the month and into June, you'll have these moments where you'll have to remind yourself that to progress any further than you have, there's got to be a balancing out of the heart and mind, where right now, being all heart can have you feeling like you're on top of the world, like you're at the bottom of a pit, like you're in endless despair, like you can do it all, like you want to leave it all, like you want to hide it all, like you want to have it all, like you want to destroy it all. You know, it's just like... But if you're able to work that muscle, if you're able to control the flame, temper it, control it, whichever you like, then you have a very good chance. And that is what May wants to teach you. That is what Taurus season wants to teach you. That's what the beginning of Gemini season wants to teach you. If you can learn this very valuable lesson, then you set yourself up for a year, the remainder of the year being exceptionally profitable. Again, there's an irony in that, because how this starts off is you being worried about work and money. But if you don't indulge that worry, you set yourself up. And if you don't indulge that worry and the things that come with your behavior when you indulge in worry, because you know there's a slew of things that happen when you let yourself sink into that space. If you don't indulge those emotions, those fears, those insecurities, those anxieties, you set yourself up for another 6-7 months of great bliss, financially and also emotionally. So that's work and that's money, but what about love? Like I said, how do we expand that heart space? How do we become more compassionate when the thing that interests us only and the most is our heart and our feelings? And that's not a knock on you guys at all. It's just how it is. Well, let's start from the top there. 10 of Wands, purpose. Purpose helps. 7 of Wands, small victories every day. And those are the victories that you have to tell yourself that you've won, the battles that you've won. 5 of Cups, not allowing yourself to slip into a mental space of regret and sorrow. The Hierophant, being very comfortable with the feeling of abundance, feeling how it feels, believing in the feeling when you create it of having more and more and more and more. 6 of Pentacles, being kind to those who who may have even less than you and who may throughout the month really irritate you, but you exhibit great understanding and care for them because they need you. 9 of Swords. Not allowing the most common and human of emotions, which is to despair and become anxious and worried. In the not allowing of that, in the buoyancy of your spirit, you attract the Ace of Wands. And here the Ace of Wands is just an opportunity to understand the difference between these two mindsets. Both are possible because you can create either. So consciously, what would you like to create? A situation when you and your loved ones and your friends are all down and out and nobody has any means of doing anything, becoming hopeless? Or do you choose to view yourself as having more than enough of everything? In fact, you have one of everything. Doesn't seem like much of a choice, does it? What does that choice require? A balancing of the heart and mind, a breaking away from the way things used to be, the way you used to think, allowing this full moon to give you the space to wish from your heart for that which you want most. Allowing that Mars in Pisces to, in its own rambling, drunk way, show you your path. Keeping yourself relatively humble, not allowing yourself to go into that really heated space. Therefore, keeping the vibe of your feedback loop, the vibe of your reality, very chill. Not allowing yourself to indulge in this kind of power play. Instead, being all heart. Now, if you're dealing with an air sign and you would really like for them to be your equal, so you don't want to back down at all in any way, which you shouldn't. None of this is to imply that you should be weak. Then you have a very good shot. All right. So that's the second part of your reading. If you would like a personal recorded reading, there is a link below. I just added 4 more slots to the live video chat one-on-one readings as well. But that one you have to act kind of fast on because those sell out really quickly. The Vimeo and the Instant Extended are the same extended that we're about to do right now. One is available as a link that goes to your inbox, and the other you log on to Vimeo and you can watch. Both can be viewed again and again by the same user. All right.